The Houston Texans are officially Super Bowl contenders. In one calendar year, the Houston Texans have gone from one of the worst teams in the NFL and have become a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Last season, the Texans were the most improved team in the league and even managed to win a wild-card playoff matchup against the Cleveland Browns. The turnaround was thanks to a brand-new head coach and a few rookies that took the league by storm. Since the team's loaded with up-and-coming stars on both sides of the football field, they could have just sat on their hands all offseason and would have still probably seen their team improve in 2024, but instead the Texans have already weaponized their gluttony of cap space and draft picks to further improve their roster with some of the biggest names in the NFL at their respected positions. So in this video, we're going to break down how the Texans managed to turn things around so quickly and explain why they have the pieces in place to potentially be the most dynamic team in the league this upcoming season. Let's dive right in. It wasn't long ago that the Texans were a strong football team with a star-studded roster. Deshaun Watson looked to be a franchise quarterback, while DeAndre Hopkins and J.J. Watt were two of the league's best at their positions as well. But things quickly went down the tube. Former general manager Bill O'Brien traded away Hopkins in the prime of his career to the Arizona Cardinals in a deal that didn't even return a single first-round pick. The trade triggered a downward spiral for the entire organization. The next season, the Texans were only a shell of their former team, and Bill O'Brien got fired early in the season. From there, it continued to get worse. Deshaun Watson, shortly after signing a record-breaking contract extension, got himself in all sorts of off-the-field trouble that forced him off the football field. And then J.J. Watt retired, leaving the Texans without any game breakers in their organization. At the time, no one was overly impressed with the moves by new general manager Nick Caserio, but a massive trade with the Browns sparked a turning point in the organization's trajectory. Caserio moved on from Deshaun Watson and in return got a ton of draft pick compensation. The return included the Browns' next 3 first-round picks along with a third-round pick and 2 additional fourth-round picks. And Caserio weaponized his draft capital to quickly turn the team around. In 2022, the Texans won the very last game of the regular season by 1 point to lose the rights to the first overall pick. The win turned out to be a massive blessing in disguise. That's because the Panthers traded for and selected Bryce Young with the first overall pick. Therefore, Ohio State's quarterback C.J. Stroud fell in Nick Caserio and the Houston Texans' lap at second overall. But Caserio wasn't finished. He then traded draft picks to acquire the third overall pick as well and drafted the highest-rated edge rusher available as well in Will Anderson out of Alabama. And in the third round, the Texans also snagged Tank Dell out of the University of Houston. Even though the players added in the draft were talented, no one expected them to immediately turn the team around. But Caserio also hired DeMeco Ryans, who was the defensive coordinator of the 49ers, to be the team's head coach. Not only did Ryans have experience playing linebacker for the Texans, he brought toughness, savviness, and a new energy to the Texans organization. The combination of added assets immediately catapulted the Texans up the standings and made them one of the most exciting and dynamic teams in the NFL. The most obvious reason for the incredible season was rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud's historical rookie season. Despite a number of key injuries to the Texans' offense throughout the year, Stroud threw a mere 5 interceptions while racking up 4,108 passing yards, the third most ever for a rookie quarterback. Even more impressive, his average of 273.9 passing yards per game led the entire NFL, placing him just behind Justin Herbert's rookie record of 289.1 yards per game. At just 22 years old, he posted a league-leading 23-5 touchdown-to-interception ratio, becoming the youngest player ever to achieve this feat. His precision put his name alongside legends such as Tom Brady and Joe Montana as the only quarterbacks to lead the NFL in both passing yards per game and touchdown-to-interception ratio in a single season. Not bad for a rookie, to put it lightly. He led the Texans to an improbable AFC South title, becoming the first rookie quarterback to win a division title since Dak Prescott in 2016. The epic turnaround obviously earned him the Offensive Rookie of the Year award, but an argument could easily be made that he deserved the MVP as well. His stardom in some ways overshadowed Will Anderson, who immediately proved to be a disruptor on the defensive end and won the Defensive Rookie of the Year award the same season. The duo winning Rookie of the Year on both sides of the ball made them the 4th pair to do so in NFL history. And on top of that, Tank Dell, an undersized but dynamic receiver, was on pace to break Andre Johnson's Texans rookie receiving yard record before an injury ended his season prematurely. But even without Dell in the lineup, the offense barely skipped a beat because 6'4" Nico Collins also had a massive breakout year in which he recorded 1,297 yards and 8 touchdowns despite missing 2 games with injury. After losing to the Ravens in the playoffs, there might have been a moment of disappointment, but it was very quickly flushed out with immense optimism because the team has such a bright future ahead of them with rising stars all over the place. As stated earlier, the Texans were primed to improve without making many significant moves, but instead they absolutely loaded up. At first, fans were disappointed. Nick Caserio had ample cap space but seemed to strike out on star players that fans thought would improve the Texans. See, although patience can be a virtue, the reality is that the Texans have so much cap space because their best players remain on cheap rookie contracts. Other star quarterbacks like Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, Patrick Mahomes, and Russell Wilson have all relatively recently won Super Bowls while playing on rookie contracts, while other stars like Jared Goff, Joe Burrow, and Jalen Hurts fell 1 game short in the Super Bowl on theirs. This is because the quarterback is typically the highest paid player on the team. So if you have a star playing on a bargain deal, it gives the organization a window of opportunity to spend big bucks at other positions to complement them. That's why fans were disappointed when the team missed on players like Joshua Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, and DeAndre Swift in free agency, all players who seemed like solid options to improve the team's mediocre running game. Also, the team lost a number of their defensive linemen, including the team's sack leader, Jonathan Grenard. Last season, the Texans' pass rush was the strength of their defense. However, in lieu of the departures, Caserio added Danielle Hunter, one of the league's most threatening pass rushers after a Pro Bowl season in which he recorded a menacing 16.5 sacks, as well as a league-leading 23 tackles for losses. Pairing Hunter across from Will Anderson will give the Houston Texans one of the league's most devastating pass rushes in 2024, but they didn't stop there. The Texans also added defensive end Danico Autry, who's 33 years old, but's coming off the best season of his entire career with the Tennessee Titans. Last year alone, Autry recorded 11.5 sacks, only 1 less than Grenard, who led Houston last year. And then they traded for Bengals star running back Joe Mixon. The 27-year-old is one of the most well-rounded running backs in the league and will significantly upgrade the Texans' rushing attack. Caserio then traded away a first-round pick to Minnesota in a deal that brought back 2 seconds. It was a move that raised question marks after he was so successful drafting stars in the first round only 1 year ago. But he had a game plan all along. He utilized one of his newly acquired second-round picks to trade for Stephon Diggs from the Bills. Diggs is in the prime of his career and one of the best wide receivers in the entire league. Now the Texans boast arguably the best receiving core in the league as well, with a trio of Dell, Collins, and Diggs spread out as weapons for Stroud to pass to. It's crazy how quickly things change, but all of a sudden the Texans look like a team filled with weapons that are accustomed to playing winning football to support a young superstar quarterback. And we think that it wouldn't be a stretch in the slightest to say that the Texans are equipped with a roster top to bottom that could very well be the best in the entire league. Additionally, they still have a healthy balance sheet of cap space to weaponize as well as draft picks to leverage to continue to improve their roster in the offseason and after the season begins. It's been a hell of a turnaround in Houston, and we can't wait to watch how the young group matches up against the AFC's other powerhouses in 2024 and beyond. But we want to know what you guys think. Are the Texans the most improved team going into the 2024 season? And are they legit Super Bowl contenders? Let us know in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more sports news and insights. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.